1960s-ish era where LLM compute is still very expensive for this new kind of a computer. And that forces the LLMs to be centralized in the cloud, and we're all just sort of thin clients that interact with it over the network. And none of us have full utilization of these computers, and therefore, it makes sense to use time sharing where we're all just, a dimension of the batch when they're running the computer in the cloud. And this is very much what computers used to look like during this time. The operating systems were in the cloud, everything was streamed around, and there was batching. And so the personal computing revolution hasn't happened yet because it's just not economical, it doesn't make sense. But I think some people are trying, and it turns out that Mac Minis, for example, are a very good fit for some of the LLMs because it's all, if you're doing batch run inference, this is all super memory bound, so this actually works. And I think these are some early indications maybe of personal computing, but this hasn't really happened yet. It's not clear what this looks like. Maybe some of you get to invent what this is or how it works or what this should be. Maybe one more analogy that I'll mention is whenever I talk to ChatGPT or some LLM directly in text, I feel like I'm talking to an operating system through the terminal. Like it's text, it's direct access to the operating system, and I think a GUI hasn't yet really been invented in like a general way. Like, should ChatGPT have a GUI, like different than just the text bubbles? Certainly some of the apps that we're gonna go into in a bit have GUI, but there's no like GUI across all the tasks, if that makes sense. There are some ways in which LLMs are different from kind of operating systems in some fairly unique way and from early computing. And I wrote about this one particular property that strikes me as very different this time around. It's that LLMs like flip the direction of technology diffusion that is usually present in technology. So for example, with electricity, cryptography, computing, flight, internet, GPS, lots of new transformative technologies that have not been around. Typically, it is the government and corporations that are the first users because it's new and expensive, et cetera, and it only later diffuses to consumer. But I feel like LLMs are kind of like flipped around. So maybe with early computers, it was all about ballistics and military use, but with LLMs, it's all about how do you boil an egg or something like that. This is certainly like a lot of my use. And so it's really fascinating to me that we have a new magical computer and it's like helping me boil an egg. It's not helping the government do something really crazy like some military ballistics or some special technology. Indeed, corporations or governments are lagging behind the adoption of all of us, of all of these technologies. So it's just backwards. And I think it informs maybe some of the uses of how we want to use this technology or like what are some of the first apps and so on. So in summary so far, LLM Labs fab LLMs, I think it's accurate language to use, but LLMs are complicated operating systems. They're circa 1960s in computing, and we're redoing computing all over again. And they're currently available via time sharing and distributed like a utility. What is new and unprecedented is that they're not in the hands of a few governments and corporations. They're in the hands of all of us because we all have a computer, and it's all just software. And ChatGPT was beamed down to our computers like to billions of people like instantly and overnight. And this is insane. And it's kind of insane to me that this is the case, and now it is our time to enter the industry and program these computers. This is crazy. So I think this is quite remarkable. Before we